Thank you everyone for watching Infinitely Productions. And first and foremost, Happy New Year and welcome to our new video content. We have much more to discuss. As of now, John Gotti Jr. had made an exclusive interview on Value Entertainment with host Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David is a businessman and known for being the host of his own podcast, PBD Podcast and Value Entertainment. One of his recent interviews and exclusive ones was with John Gotti Jr., the son of Gambino boss John Gotti. John Gotti Jr.'s interview with Patrick Bet-David really dropped a nuclear bomb, many different crime figures, including Salvatore, Sammy The Bull, Gracvano, on many different content creators, and many people had much to say about it. It will go each and every different video on separate ones. One person that responded was Joey Merlino. Another person that responded was Salvatore, Sammy The Bull, Gracvano, and more. Salvatore, Sammy The Bull, Gracvano had a very highly dispute against the video that John Gotti Jr. made. And for those who are not familiar with Salvatore, Sammy The Bull, Gracvano, is that he was the former underboss under John Gotti Sr. Gracvano had later become an informant that would eventually lead Gotti Sr. into prison for life. And many people, of course, want to hear his reaction towards John Gotti Jr.'s video, and we will be going over that video. Before we go over Sammy The Bull Gracvano's remarks against John Gotti Jr., one of the big problems that he had is with the host, Patrick Bet-David. Sammy The Bull Gracvano and Patrick Bet-David's relationship dates back to almost a decade ago. Before, Sammy The Bull Gracvano had not done previously interviews. The last interview he has done was back in the 90s with Diane Sawyer and Limited Media. Since then, he has been very distant towards Legacy Media and decided to transition over to the digital age before starting his own podcast. He eventually did link up with Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David, for interviewing Sammy The Bull Gracvano, he himself that he admitted that he had trepidation to even interview the former mobster. He was on the show DJ Vlad Videos, Vlad TV, and here's what he had to say about his concern about Sammy The Bull Gracvano in this video.
Young. But yet your Mafia interviews have gotten more views than this Kobe interview. Am I right?
On YouTube, yeah.
On YouTube.
Kobe got picked up by mainstream more, but on YouTube, the Mafia interviews, I think, is it the most? Is Sammy the most? Sammy's got to be the most, right?
Sammy's the most viewed interview on your platform. Hold on, I'll even tell you.
Sammy's got to be, has he reached 20 million?
20 million views.
Okay, so check this out. Is there a question to it? Because I want to tell you Sammy's story with the 20 million. Okay, so Sammy and I, So I do the Michael Francis interview. And by the way, for a year and a half, I'm telling my booker I don't want to do the interview. My booker's calling me from Peru, Bill, and he says, Pat, I'm telling you, you got to interview Michael Francis. I said, I'm a business YouTube channel. I'm not a mafia. He says, Pat, read his book. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. So I read the book and go, what a great book. So I recommend it to everybody. So a year and a half later, I said, hey, let's do the interview. This is when I had taken a 3-month break from YouTube. I'm like, I'm done YouTubing. We had our third kid sent us here. I'm traveling 6 months out of the year. I'm working 80, 90 hours a week. I'm like, I am not going to do YouTube. I'm done. So then I have a meeting. I said, if we do come back, we're going to take this thing to the next. So we had 450,000 subscribers at the time. Mm-hmm. So we're in Brentwood here for Christmas. I said, one of the days I want to go do 3 interviews. My first interview, I think, is Lewis House, then Jordan Belfort, which was in Manhattan. Then I got a Michael Francis interview. Jordan Belfort shows up late. We have a great interview, but I'm stuck in traffic 2 hours going to Michael, who lives in Newport. So we're like, hey, we're there. We're an hour and 45 minutes away. Finally, we get there. And I sit down with Michael. We do the interview. And interview comes out. Michael's wife is like, hey, we got to go to church. Michael's doing the interview with his socks on, and everybody would say, look at Michael disrespecting Patrick. It's a power play. He doesn't even have his shoes on. It was great, all these different things. But WorldStar puts it on the homepage. Mm-hmm. So it takes off, okay, the Michael interview. Sammy gets out of jail. And I get Sammy's phone number through one of my assistants at the time, Jessica. She says, here's a number. So I call Sammy. Who is this? I said, this is Patrick Bet-David. Who the fuck is Patrick Bet-David? I said, I'm the guy that interviewed Michael Francis. You the motherfucker that interviewed me. So you realize that guy's not a mafia boss. Why'd you put mafia boss in the title? He's not a mafia boss. He's a capo. I'm not even a mafia boss. I'm an underboss. You can't even put mafia boss on my title. He goes for 2.5 hours, chew my ass out. Okay? So I'm on the phone. Mario's next to me. I'm like, listen, I want to do the interview. So I say, Sammy, just meet with me one-on-one. I don't want to meet with you. I said, Sammy, let's just meet one-on-one. Let me think about it. Okay. Month goes by. Blows me off. 3 months goes by. Nothing. Finally, I said, Sammy, I'm coming to Arizona for a business meeting. Let me just meet with you in Phoenix. All right, when you're down here, tell me when you're down here, we'll figure something out. So we get down there. And then finally, Mario talks to his guy, his handler. He invites us to this building. We go to the building. And Mario, at this point, all he sees is when he's seen Sammy's Wikipedia, 19 people, this, that. He's like, Pat, this guy's going to kill us today. So we go to this building. And we're in the building. By the way, we're walking. We go into the back. And at this point, the further we walk into this industrial building, the darker it's getting. Finally, I'm like, listen, man, if this is the way it's going to be, what a great story. So we go there and hey, you're the guy that interviewed Francis? Yeah. Is Michael your friend? I said, what do you mean? He's your friend, huh? Are you here to defend your friend? Because he's not a boss. So who the fuck are you? To Mario. Mario's like, I'm just Patrick's right hand guy. I'm just helping him out. So we sit down, 3-hour conversation. Let me tell you about mafioso. Let me tell you what this La Cosa Nostra means to me. And he gives me the history and he's just educating the technicalities of it. So I totally get it. I said, Sammy, I said, if you agree to an interview with me, we're going to make this the most interview view you'll ever have. If he's watching this, he's going to remember this conversation. He says, you know, the last person that interviewed me was Diane Sawyer? I said, I know. He says, you know how many views she got? His words, you ready? I've never told this story before. Diane Sawyer's interview with me got 20 million views. You think you're going to get 20 million views? I said, Sammy, we're going to get more than 20 million views. He says, okay, let me think about it. So I leave. A couple months later, he says, let's do the interview.
So you heard from Patrick Bet-David. He had concerns about his own safety interviewing the former underboss of the Gambino crime family. When he interviewed Gracvano, their relationship blossomed. For the past 6 years, starting as of January 2018, he interviewed Sammy The Bull Gracvano on the Value Entertainment section. As we could show you, right now is listed as 5 years, but in this current month, it's almost the 6th anniversary. And since he interviewed Sammy The Bull Gracvano, more videos and content have become more relatable to one another. He will also talk about the recent election of Donald J. Trump's triumphant of the 2024 election. Patrick Bet-David also interviewed Michael Francis, who is a former mobster himself, and even interviewed Francis several different occasions, regardless if it was about Francis' lifestyle or different scenarios that involved other mobsters. There even was an exclusive content called The Mafia States of America, in which you had to pay for that type of exclusive content. That's how much exclusive content that Patrick Bet-David has with both Francis and Sammy The Bull Gravano when it came to Francis and Gravano's feud and the aftermath of their feud. Now, as of 2024 to now 2025, Gracvano has now made it more public that now he no longer has a working relationship with Patrick Bet-David, as you can see here.
It's not for the guy, I don't know the guy, but the people will fucking hate you for this. You can kill a guy because of an accident. And he admitted to it, John Jr. He said his father was a hero for doing that. I'm a villain because I shot some kid. I didn't shoot him, that's a lie too, but I'm a villain. His father's a hero for killing it. What about that guy's mother, father, sister, brother, wife, kids? What about his family? You want to talk about Kaiser's family? What about his family? Then he swore on his dead son's grave, John Jr. said. Now, that's horrible. Now, he did swear on his son's grave not to kill Willie Boy Johnson if he wouldn't cooperate. He wouldn't cooperate, he didn't cooperate, but as soon as he got out, he put a hit on him and killed him. So I guess his son's grave meant nothing to him. Another thing that meant nothing to him is when he was dying, the guy was going to come and give him his last rites, and he waved the more fuck God. Now, that you look what you just, John Gotti Sr. must be rolling in his grave over that thing. You showed that he don't give a fuck about God. He don't give a fuck about his dead son's lying about that. So this was, but what really pissed me off with this whole fucking thing was that Patrick Bet-David did this interview. Everybody knows there's 3 toes he ratted. Why didn't Patrick Bet-David fact check and talk to him about it? He came out and did a script. He told the story. He must have practiced it 100 times. Even when Patrick tried to interrupt once, he says, well, hold on, I don't mean to be disrespectful, and just kept talking. He was scripted with it. It was all bullshit. Everything in it. John Gotti, like I said, must be rolling in his grave, what he just did. And I look at it that he's mad at me because of the dad and me and our relationship and what happened. I could blow it off a little bit. But to go to the degree that he went through, it's disgraceful and disgusting. Matter of fact, he made his father look 10 times worse. He admitted that he lied about killing the neighbor. And he obviously, there's all kinds of things that put me in that car. Why the fuck would I confess to 2 fucking murders if I wasn't there and didn't do it? How would that help me? That I confessed to it and took the weight for it. But they knew it anyway. I didn't have to confess, they already knew. And they knew exactly what I did. There's tapes. The FBI, what do you think? They're fucking clowns? So, I wish I didn't do it. It wouldn't be on my list. And it showed me how confessing to that made me better. It helped me.
Fat Irish 90 is saying that was the biggest softball interview, and I like Patrick Bet-David, but he didn't challenge him, he didn't fact check him, he didn't nothing. He fact checked that the Rockefeller lady that came and said she was sex trafficked by Rockefeller. He fact checked her more. He was way harder on her. A sex trafficking survivor.
It's harder on everybody. I don't understand the thing. Here's what I think happened. I like Patrick too. I get along with him. I used to get along with him very good. I don't know more. I'm done with that. He don't know that. He might not know it on this interview. But what he did was disgusting. Here's what I think he did. I think he did this interview knowing that it would break my balls. Everybody would see it. He'd get a couple of million views, right? Then he'd say, Sammy, come on down, I'll give you a platform and you can do that. So he gets another couple of million views off of me. You're not using me that way. You deal with some other fucking gangsters who don't know how to think, who got their fingers fucking so far up their ass, they don't even know what they're talking about. I'm getting disgusted with all these fucking bullshit things. Yeah. But I think that's what he was thinking. But I didn't respond to Patrick, and I have no intentions to. I was thinking to doing this interview with Anthony and a few other people. Even Michael Franchise said, he walked away, but he even said in an interview, I saw it, and I'll use it, whether he likes it or not, is that you can't walk away from the life. You could walk away, but you're not a civilian. You're always a made guy. And if you walk away and they decide to kill you, especially if you cooperate, that's what they do. But that's what it is. That's what they're doing. I'm disgusted with it. I really am.
You know, I hope it's okay that I say this, but a lot of people don't know that Patrick, and I want to check the timing on this. Patrick actually offered you a spot on his team to come co-host with him. I was there I was at the table. I heard the whole conversation. The conversation happened several times because he kept pursuing Sammy. Sammy, out of the goodness of his heart, came down, did the whole election night thing. It was a blast. We love the way Patrick does, has built this empire, and that's great. I respect the businessman and all that stuff. But if you're going to play with Sammy like that, I mean, you're a dad, you're a brother, you're a son, you're all these things. You shook his hand, you broke bread with him at the table. Why?
It's because of, I don't know why. Maybe to goat me into doing a big interview with him again. Now, it's a good point. He asked me to come down. I not only brought Anna, I brought Anna's son, I brought my son, I brought another woman who's working with me, 5 people to back him with his show. Did he call me and tell me I'm doing this interview? I would have told him, okay, that's the business you're in, do the interview. I'll give you all the fucking information you need. 302s, every fucking thing. But he didn't ask me. He just did it. And that's why I'm a little disturbed at that, more than listening to this kid. This kid did not even belong in the fucking life. I could have 10 people on this show, heavyweights, telling you when John went to jail and made him an acting boss, nobody wanted to talk to him. Nobody even wanted to bother with him. He's a joke.
Ever since John Gotti Jr. was interviewed by Patrick Bet-David, Gracvano now feels that Patrick Bet-David has went behind his back and now has cut ties with him. He's never mentioned that he has this issue before, but now he feels that Patrick Bet-David had gave soft questions and did not really address him or held him accountable when it came to interviewing any of his adversaries. However, many people are calling out Sammy the Bull Gracvano on his possible hypocritical nature. Some other YouTube content creators have called out Sammy the Bull Gracvano. Was he ever a rat? Some people have called out Gracvano. Did he ever accuse John Gotti Jr. of being a rat? And he's never really wanted to call anybody an informant until he was incensed by those individuals. Now, as you can see, Gracvano has no problem calling John Gotti Jr. a rat ever since of his interview. Now we're hearing much more explicit language coming from Gracvano and other people who disagree with him. Here's some more follow-up information from Sammy the Bull Gracvano's interpretation from the interview with John Gotti Jr. and Patrick Bet-David. So we want to make sure you have both point of views. We want to make sure that you see the previous videos that Patrick Bet-David has with Sammy the Bull Gracvano, that now they've done so much content and now Gracvano no longer wants to work with him. Do you think that he overreacted, or do you think he has a right to question Patrick Bet-David's loyalty? From those who do not know, Patrick Bet-David usually does interview both sides. However, Gracvano thinks he should have consulted with him before interviewing John Gotti Jr., so now this has become the downfall to their relationship. But we want to know what you think down below. Please let us know what your opinions are in the comments, and we'd be happy to interview about the ongoing feud between Sammy the Bull Gracvano and Patrick Bet-David. This is Infinitely Productions. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinitely Productions. We love ya.